By the time the world of movies and the world of education get into the streets of Black America, some strange things happen. Because what history and the movies have told the black man is that he's nobody unless he joins the white world.
That is not true. Do not believe that.
That is dead wrong.
They don't discriminate against me because I'm a Christian. They're discriminating against me because I'm black.
I grudge them on, you know. I true him a fight for black liberation. And him a one true warrior. Them I want to try stop him. But them can't stop the man. Them can't stop RahiemShabazz. That's why anytime me want to listen to revolutionary liberation vibes, me tune into Necessary Blackness podcast. Me not into them little yaga podcast them. I be your Necessary Blackness me rock with. Anytime me want hear true warrior talking.
Lord God. Check out MCJ, musicculturejournalism.com. Hip-hop is a global movement, reaching all aspects of music, culture, and journalism. MCJ is the premier destination for culture-driven video and editorial content around the country. Check out musicculturejournalism.com. Log on today.
Elementary Genocide provides a critical expose of mass incarceration, the war on drugs, and the connection between slavery, capitalism, and the prison industrial complex. Visit our website at www.elementarygenocide.com. Now available, Elementary Genocide, the School to Prison Pipeline. Elementary Genocide 2, the Board of Education versus the Board of Incarceration. And the newest release, Elementary Genocide 3, Academic Holocaust. Log on today to purchase your very own 3-set docuseries.
Wingy Apparel is the latest fly and revolutionary streetwear to hit the market. Wingy is the outfitters of freedom fighters everywhere. Wingy is a Swahili word that means abundance. No one has ever gone broke by giving. So if you have it in abundance, sharing is better than receiving. Follow us on Instagram at Wingy Apparel. That's at WINGIAPPAREL.
Peace and Black Power family. This is your host, RahiemShabazz, and we are here for another episode of Necessary Blackness podcast. And last week we had a special guest. This week we have a special guest. The only difference is this week our special guest is right here live in the studio. And we're going to talk about commerce. Our special guest is Knowledge, and he's here with us today. And just to set it up for the brother before he come on, y'all know, and y'all heard me say this before, that anytime there is a recession, more millionaires and billionaires are made anytime in history. What you have to do during this pandemic, you have to tap in to your passion and you have to become an entrepreneur because your job might not come back. There's a new model of doing business and you have to adjust to that. If you already have a business, you have to adjust to the way things are going. We don't know how long this is going to last, maybe for the next 6 months. They may have a shelter in place in certain areas, a certain business. You may only allow 6 to 10 people in your store at a time. You have to be innovative where you could do curbside pickups. I don't know, offer discounts online, but the money don't stop. So today we're going to talk about commerce. Brother Knowledge, how are you, my brother?
I'm doing good. Feel good. Vibration good. How everybody doing out there in Radio Land?
See, one of the key things he said is vibration is good. When you're dealing with money, you're dealing with currency. A current has a vibration. And if your vibrational pitch and your frequency is off, your money going to be off. So that's the number one thing, man. Get your vibrations right. All right. So what I want to ask you is, in this time, how do you think is best for people to adjust and become entrepreneurs if they're not already entrepreneurs and be able to upscale their business?
You mean like for us, like people just getting ready to start a business, or if they're already in business, how should they?
If they're already in business.
If you're already in business, you have to take, the good with the bad, and you have to make it better. And I can give you a lot of examples of that, especially with dealing with commerce. One thing that I do is I always search out the market. In any business you in, you definitely want to search out the market. If you're already in business, you know your market, or you should know your market. So if you know your market and your demographics of who you marketing to, you definitely want to turn it. So if you are already a certain percentage of an ethnic group, then you definitely want to turn it to a different ethnic group that is definitely going to give you the results that you're looking for, as far as like a return on your business, especially if you're doing investing or investments. But one thing I have learned in commerce is when you in business and you have to stick to it, a better yet, we in business right now, it's a pan epidemic. So a lot of people are moving to the entrepreneur side of the pan epidemic. People are selling masks. People selling masks with filters. Just because one thing stops, that doesn't mean everything still stop. People are selling herbals. You know what I'm saying? People get more educated in herbology, plantology, because they learning how to, build up their immune system and things of that nature, especially when you're doing it in a pan epidemic. So if you're already in one business and you want to move on to a different business, or better yet, if your business is slow, then you definitely want to step your business up and gear towards the things that is needed now. One thing I learned was real powerful is that word now. You can't worry about yesterday because it's gone. You can't worry about the future, but so you have to deal in the now. When you deal in the now, then your vibration would always be good.
That's right, brother, because the here and now is what's most important to anybody, because we can look back in the past and let that be a lesson, but we have to adapt to what's going on now. And for those that don't adapt, you'll find yourself going out of business very quickly. And we see that with a lot of retail outlets. I just heard that Sears filed for bankruptcy, and Sears been in business longer than I've been on this planet Earth.
That's true.
And they're now going out of business. So I don't know the intricate workings of that corporation. But if I had to take an educated guess, I bet you their online sales is not probably even 25% of their gross. And you have to have an online presence.
Yeah, online presence is very, very strategic, because we're losing the what they call it walk bys, or how many walk-ins you have, stuff like that. People now shop online. It's so easy. And then you got Amazon Prime, they give it to you the next day. So it's like, why would I waste my time, running to the mall? You can buy online. So, having an online presence is very good for your business.
You know what I noticed? There is individuals that are selling pies, are selling Caribbean cuisine, and all type of food. And they're in other states, and they'll have it mailed to you overnight.
Yeah, that's called getting into the business, and also spreading your business. That has to deal with marketing. Definitely your online presence is key. Your social media presence is key. Reaching out to the people, because now we have a lot of things at our fingertips. You can reach people in all overseas and stuff like that, actually sell to them and, further your brand. It's all about furthering your brand.
Branding is everything. And I know early on, starting a business before the advent of social media, one of the things a lot of people used to ask you if you want to start a business, all right, who's your core customer? What's their demographics? How many customers do you have in a 25 to 50 block radius?
Right.
Now, with the internet, the entire world is your customer. People in Japan, people in the UK, any country that has an internet connection
is your customer.
And is a potential customer at that. So now, I know you deal with commerce. I wanted to talk about the Uniform Commercial Code.
UCC. The UCC is Admiralty Maritime Law, also called equity law. It is the law that runs the world. There is no such thing as law of the land. There is law of the water. It's also called law of the sea. You can trace the law of the water, law of the sea back to the Phoenicians, the great traders of that particular time in that realm. And when you're dealing with the UCC, this is the law that governs internationally. This is how China trade with India. India trade with Pakistan, or United States deal with Russia. There are certain laws in the states, but after that, there are laws that are governed on a higher scale. And when you get into the Uniform Commercial Code, it is the law of the land. And I learned that as I'm dealing with court. You know what I'm saying? You can Google U.S. Federal Court in Florida. When you Google U.S. Federal Court in Florida, you look at the top of that building. It's shaped like a boat. And see, that's the thing that gets me is they put the stuff blatantly in our face and let you know that this is laws of the sea. So when you come into this particular courthouse, they're letting you know that this is laws of the sea. And when you're dealing with the UCC, you definitely want to deal with maxims of laws. One maxim of law I learned is ignorance of the law is no excuse. And another maxim of law I learned is he who doesn't assert his rights has none. And me coming into the knowledge and consciousness, my first move, I came in transition actually from the UCC commerce.
We have to tap into that energy of the Phoenicians, and we have to start dealing with the Universal Commercial Code. Now, you say that is the law of the land.
Yeah, that is the law of the land.
And what's so crazy is when you start a business, you have to know about local zoning laws.
Yeah, everything is law.
State taxes and
code is law.
But we're never taught about the maritime law.
That is, it's everywhere. Maritime law. We deal with maritime law every day. You know what I'm saying? You go to court, the judge sits on a bench. Bench in Latin means bank. You know what I'm saying? Who the judge working for? You have the hearing officers, and people don't know this. Most judges are nothing but hearing officers. The judge is a referee. She want to hear two opposing sides, and she make a decision. So she's a referee in a case matter. So every day we deal with maritime law. You know what I'm saying? You got the code enforcer. He go out and enforce codes. What they doing? Enforcing codes. That's what it is. And you get into, like, I'm in Georgia, so you get into OCGA. It's an OCGA, which stands for Official Code of Georgia Annotated. Mm-hmm. And in Official Code Georgia Annotated, it says that on the date that the person is arrested, the prosecution put a lien on his property. So I asked a question to a public official. I said, so if you guys arrest a bum, how do you enforce this particular code right here? And you put a lien on somebody's property if the bum doesn't have any physical property. Mm-hmm. He's homeless. So they didn't have no answer for me, but I already knew the answer. So when I looked into the Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, when you put a property in a Black's Law Dictionary, it means freedom. So when you put a lien on somebody's property, you put a lien on a freedom. And that's why it says in that particular code, Official Code of Georgia Annotated, that when someone is arrested, they put a lien on a property. They put a lien on you as a person. That's dealing with maritime law. You know what I'm saying? And this is the law of the land. This is the game. You know what I'm saying? You born, you got a birth certificate. It's just like a ship. You got a birth manifest. Your mother's water broke. You know what I'm saying? You are considered a vessel upon the maritime law. These are things you can Google. It's a typical figure of the sea. So you a vessel and you dock. So the doctor pull you out your mother. You know what I'm saying? The doctor pull you out your mother. Your water broke. You a vessel and you get a birth certificate, which is a birth manifest. The same thing they give a ship. And you have a dock number. You know what I'm saying? And that's your social security number. People can say conspiracy theories or not, but check it out. You can only have 10 birth certificates in a lifetime, and your social security number is voluntarily. See, one thing about me, I don't sugarcoat it. This is maritime law. This is equity law. This is admiralty law, and it's everywhere. You can just Google it.
Now, you said about how the bum who didn't have no property.
That's right.
That when they put a lien on his property,
right.
In essence, what they was doing was taking away his freedom.
Yes.
So if you don't know the Uniform Commercial Code or the maritime law, not only will you suffer financially and lose your financial freedom, but you'll also lose your physical freedom. So what the brother is telling us is very deep, and I'm going to go a little step further, right? Because this all coincide. I'm going to read you a statement, and I want you to tell me what you think. Now, this statement says, The United States is a bankrupt corporation. The flag is a commerce flag, not a national flag. And all the U.S. presidents are war criminals.
That's
Break
true.
that down.
Check it out. Nah, I like what he's doing. He's trying to catch me off guard.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to build with you, brother.
But I'm very well read. So read the first part.
All right. The United States is a bankrupt corporation.
That's true. The last bankrupts, I believe, might have been in 1999. You look on your Social Security card, that's when the USA is in gold. They have three, I think they had two other bankruptcies before that. But yes, United States is a bankrupt corporation. You got to think about it. HJR 192-73-10 public law. That's when they took the gold and silver away from the American people. Now check this out. Once they took the gold and silver away from the American people, they gave you the dollar bill. The dollar bill is under the Federal Reserve note. And under the Federal Reserve, if you read the Federal Reserve Act, the dollar bill is only for the Federal Reserve and its agents. So yes, United States is a bankrupt corporation. The business of the United States is people. That's why we have bonds. And
we the people.
Yeah, we the people. It's in the business of people. That's why we have things that are attached to us. Everything is a contract. This is contract law. And you can, Google it. Google contract law. They're gonna give you something else. Google minimum contact. Google these are law words. Google necessary. That's a law word. These words are very important. But yeah,
black is a law word.
It is. Black's a law word. You know what I'm saying? And these are important. And yes, United States is a bankrupt company, corporation. What's the second one?
The flag is a commerce flag.
It is
not a national flag.
No, it's not. Commerce flag. Law of the sea, man. Google that. Google
all right.
That,
and the last one. And all the U.S. presidents are war criminals.
They are war criminals. I'm gonna give you one of the definitions for money is war script.
War script.
War script.
Okay.
WARSCRIPT. And in war script, I'm gonna Google it real quick and just read it, because in war script, it's pretty much saying that United States is at war with its people. I said one of the war script, WARSCRIPT. And that's the dollar bill. That's what the dollar bill is. It's considered war script, because I was reading that United States is at war with the people. That's why they give you synthetic medication. They don't give you no real food or anything like that. A entity and this corporation is at war with the people. They give you nothing to help you out. You know what I'm saying? And it's just known and it's proven. The Rockefeller owns the food industry. They have a trust set up that aids in this and stuff like that. So you have to think about that. 1910, the Rockefeller Institute hires Abram Flexner to write a report to shut down all U.S. medical schools. The idea was to restaff the schools with a Rockefeller staff and get rid of all natural remedies. There it is right there. There it is right there, family.
So when you find out that 10 doctors in 1 year that practice natural medicine either mysteriously went and disappeared off the face of the planet, committed suicide, or there was suspicious murder behind their death, then you know why that happened. Because they don't want you to have natural remedies as medicine. They want you to go to the hospital. They want you to go see the doctor. Because once again, it's all about commerce, and that's what we're talking about right here on Necessary Blackness Podcast. And my host today is our brother Knowledge. We getting ready to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back. Stay tuned. Peace.
Peace.
Tune in for the drop.
I am Dr. Kira Taylor, and when I'm tired of listening to fake news, I will listen to some real news, and I will check into the Necessary Blackness Podcast with my friend RahiemShabazz.
RahiemShabazz is one of my guys from way back, and you're now listening to his show, Necessary Blackness Podcast. Stay tuned.
This is Akua of Cultivated Roots Media, and I choose to tune in to Necessary Blackness because staying connected to my blackness is very necessary.
This is Shirley. When I'm not in the gym, I'm checking my son out on his podcast. Make sure you check out RahiemShabazz.
Yeah, this is Professor Ed Garnes. When I am not spreading liberation theology throughout my classrooms as an African-centered therapist, I am chilling with my homie, RahiemShabazz, on the Necessary Blackness Podcast. It's essential.
Yo, that's what I'm talking about, man.
You'll hear it here first.
Now our feature presentation.
Peace and power, Black family. This is your host, RahiemShabazz, and we just got off our quick commercial break. And for those that are just joining me, I am sitting here with the brother Knowledge, and we are talking about commerce. And in the beginning of this podcast, the brother mentioned vibrations and how your vibration has to be right before you can even think about dealing with commerce. So what we're going to talk about on this second segment of this podcast is about vibrations, meditations, and improving oneself.
Exactly.
So what is the steps well, let's start with you. We're going to use you as a case study.
Okay, come on, case study. Knowledge in the building.
How did you start your journey?
Okay, I started my journey. Actually, I started my journey in Christianity. I give reverence to that because it kind of settled me down and got me to start reading. And once I started reading, one of my favorite books was dealing with Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Songs of Solomon, the poetry and reality part of the Bible, which is up under Christianity, that school of thought. But as I continued to ask my pastors and bishops questions, they could not answer my questions. So I started my self journey. And once I started my self journey, I learned something in Christianity, which was do for self. Do for self is also in Christianity, but it's under 2 Timothy. It says study to show thyself approved. And then as I converted, I wouldn't say converted. As I started getting more to enlighten, I started looking at Islam because in my neighborhood it was always Christianity, Islam, and Jehovah's Witnesses. So I started looking at Islam. Now I went and started studying Islam, and Islam said you will always be a student of yourself. Do for self, know thyself. So and then after I got through studying Islam, and doing for self and knowing thyself, I started taking an unbiased approach into other religion as far as esoteric science and dealing with esoteric knowledge, because esoteric just means spiritual. You know what I'm saying? So, as my journey began, I was already dealing with esoteric science and esoteric knowledge in Christianity, Islam, and then you get into Judaism and Buddhism, it's dealing with oneself. So in every esoteric order, you dealing with self. And then I ran across a book called The Master Key by Charles and Hale. That's learning how to master yourself. We still dealing with self. Even on this commercial board, as we talked about earlier in commerce, we still dealing with self.
That rounds everything out because everything always come back to dealing with self, having the knowledge of yourself, knowing thyself. So once you began to know thyself, you went from the Bible to the cosmos.
That's right.
When did vibrations and meditations become a part of that order? And let's talk about meditations and vibrations for a minute.
Cool. Now, in being a student of yourself and knowing thyself and doing for self, a lot of people say you have to be aligned. So in order to be aligned, to do for self, to know thyself, and also being a student of yourself, you have to have the right vibration and right frequency. The number one thing for dealing with the right vibration and right frequency is separation. Because in the art of you knowing thyself and getting a overstanding, I say overstand because understand is a law word. It means to stand under somebody else's law. So I never really say understand. In order for you to get to overstand yourself, you must begin to meditate. Meditation is dealing with things that are attached to you, as far as the Creator will attach things to you for spiritual affirmations and things of that nature. And then I start having an ear to hear. And definitely when you start being a student of yourself, you begin to hear things. It's not you going crazy, anything like that, but these things are to help you and to build you. And then you start to develop more character. But vibration is a very part of it, and having the energy. And what I mean by vibration, it means you getting alone to yourself and you getting rid of all of the negative things that surrounds you. You know what I'm saying? Because negativity cannot produce a positive vibrational frequency. So by you getting rid of negative things that are around you, you begin to grow in character. And once you begin to grow in character, then you start to develop other attributes to yourself that makes you the person that the Creator wants you to be.
The brother broke it down eloquently. And one thing I love about having the knowledge itself is that you study life. You study all science of life.
That's true.
And one of those studies of life is meditation.
That's right, meditation.
And before you can even begin to meditate, to go within yourself, one of the things that I learned was breath control.
That's right. Breathing is a form of meditation. Breathing, holding your breath, holding it for 60 seconds. And when you holding your breath for 60 seconds, you are channeling the things in your thoughts. And once you channeling the things in your thoughts, you begin to manifest those things. But that's just not the only part of it. The breathing technique does work. Settling the body, letting yourself let everything go, all the stress, all the worries, and all of that, from the top of your crown to the head of your toe. And you want to put yourself in a very, not a sleep position, but in a comfortable position where you begin to manifest the things that you have on your mind.
That Nevada state.
That's right. That you have on your mind and in your heart. And another thing about meditation is you got to keep those things that you're trying to manifest on your mind, on your heart every day. You know, I used to have a thing where I wake up in the morning, I say 10 positive things in the morning, 10 positive things in the noonday, and 10 positive things at nighttime. And I used to say those things over and over again because everything is repetitious, even when you're learning and even when you're trying to deal with manifestation.
Now, one of the things you said, you talked about breathing, meditation, and also another important factor is abstaining from things.
That's right.
So fasting is one of another key components that one must undertake and one must do to know thyself and to get in tune with self, because you have to master your body. You know, and you have to rid yourself of anything that is harmful. And fasting,
it does work. One thing
discipline, it does a lot of that.
Yeah, one thing I did learn coming out the Christian doctrine was temperance, which means self-control. When I got ready to go into Islam, it talked about self-control as well. When you get into to the other esoteric and spiritual systems, they talk about self-control. When you're dealing with self, it's self-control. So you have to have temperance in order to move forward. Fasting does help out because you have to get rid of the things in your body. You know, of course, you know we on a commercial board, and the shareholders of the Corporation of the United States of America feed you junk, and that's just point blank. You know, in the early part of the thing, we read how the Rockefeller is got rid of all of our natural remedies as far as healing, because that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? So they have their foods in place. So fasting, get rid of the things that's in your body. Don't forget, all diseases start in your large intestines. And also drinking a lot of water. That's what helped me out too. When I began on my vibratorial frequency, I drank a lot of water because I was cleansing and I was thirsty. I was thirsty for knowledge. And I was like DMX, I was hungry. And once I was hungry, I was thirsty for knowledge. I began to cleanse my body, and things that I actually thought began to happen very fast.
It all goes back to currency. Water is what?
Man, laws of the
current,
water, laws of the sea.
Current is what? Currency.
Movement. Currency.
So
flow.
not only do you flush your body with water, but you got to become that water. Like
That's
how
true.
Bruce Lee said,
yeah,
you got to
become the
flowing
water. With the water.
Be one with the water.
Be one with the water.
So, ladies and gentlemen, man, that's going to be it for us, man, right here on Necessary Blackness Podcast. But before we leave, man, you know we always save the best for last, man. We got another brother up in the building, man. He's just been chilling on the sideline, but he's here with us. Come on, brother, man. Come over here, man, and say something, man, to the people, man. Whether we acknowledge his presence or not, the community definitely know who he is because he's a community activist. He does a lot in the community with at-risk youth. He has boots on the ground. Brother is very well read. He's here with us right here on Necessary Blackness Podcast. So introduce yourself, my brother, Kawaldo, man, and let everybody know, man, what's going on out here in these Corona streets, man.
He said the Corona. How y'all doing out there? Yeah, like the brother said, my name is Ken Watto. You know, I'm an activist down here. You know, I've been involved. I'm always involved in the community, no matter whether it's feeding the homeless or, you know, taking care of you know, preaching to kids or whatever. You know, I walk with the been walking for a few years with a few mothers that lost their sons to police brutality. I know them personally, and I'm just a brother that's down for the uplifting and empowerment of our people. You know, we got one of my peoples right here that, you know, we do a lot of work together. My brother Knowledge, you know what I mean? And that's my brother. You my brother. You know, I look at us as family. You know what I'm saying? Just
Absolutely.
Period.
And we was talking earlier. We was talking off camera, and one of the things you said that is real profound, man. And I think that goes for me, you, the brother Knowledge, and pretty much everybody that I interact with outside of my family.
Yeah.
Is that we lived a certain lifestyle.
Oh yeah.
And our lives has been like transformed.
That's right.
And it's individuals such as yourself and individuals like me that can really get to the ear of this young generation, because a lot of things that they're going through, we already been through.
There, done that.
And I like to when I go out and I speak, I notice that the youth, they gravitate more towards someone that has been through what they're going through, whether it's being formerly incarcerated, whether it's being from the streets. And I think a lot of times you get individuals that don't have no blood in the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they trying to mentor youth.
Right.
And they don't gravitate towards them. Do you see that in your travels?
Man, look, I tell you, man, you know, I go out there in the street. I've been through the Bluff, West End, Vine City, wherever where the so-called bad kids are at, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe you shouldn't try to have them kids coming. You go out there in the streets, you know what I'm saying, and talk to them politics. You know, when you talk to me, I talk to them. I don't. At first, my approach don't be like, oh, God, this guy, that, because you lose him that way. You know what I'm saying?
With the religion.
You know what I'm saying? I just talk to him like how me and you politicking. You know what I mean? I hear him out and stuff, and then, you know, just build the bond with him, because for one thing, we just got to show them that we care. Sometimes it don't take money. Just take time out to listen to these young brothers out here, man. Yeah. I don't like the pants hanging on. I ain't with all that, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not just go straight dissing. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. You got to go to the people as the people. And I always knew from my younger years, and you can look at the youth today and you see it evident in them, is that young kids and young children really don't acknowledge you.
Right.
Or even, how can I put this?
Hey man, they don't
care
us.
who you are.
They don't respect us.
No,
man.
They don't care who you are and what you say at first until they know that you care.
That's right.
And once they know that you care, it's almost like they let their guards down.
Yeah.
And they have innate ability to detect those that are sincere in their approach and sincere in what they say and what they do. And that's why I think I'm very effective in reaching today's youth.
Yeah.
So, brother, if anybody want to holler at you in order for you to come to speak to the youth and their organization or anything like that, how may they get in contact with you?
Hey, man, you can call me directly. My name is 470. I mean, my number is 470.
My name is 470. You was about to give us your jail number, man.
My number is 470-798-8527. And that's Kenwato Moore. You can call me anytime. Use text, whatever.
Hey, yo, let me tell y'all something, man. Because some of y'all ain't woke enough to understand this. The man did not when I tell people give out your information, they giving out their social media. Nah. This man gave you his phone number.
Yeah, call me.
Where he home at with his wife, saying that you can call him and he gonna come speak to the kids. So when I tell you it's real up here, we just ain't got somebody that's up here for a check, that work for a nonprofit organization that's paying them to talk and mentor at-risk youth. This is someone that's doing it off of the muscle and doing it because, you know, he want to see the upliftment of black people, man. He gave out his number. I'm going to tell you, I ain't giving you my goddamn number. I ain't Kowaldo. Now, y'all got my number, man. The same number I give out on here, man, is my cell phone, 404-484-2706. But it's best if you text me or email me.
Yeah.
Don't be calling me, man. Just to be calling me, man. So, brother, man, I appreciate you, and we're gonna come back, man, and we're gonna do a full episode. I just want to acknowledge your presence because you're here with us, man. And so what I'm gonna say, man, peace and love, Black family. Same place, same time next week. We out of here.
Peace out.